Oh, hey there. Sorry, I'm feeling a little bad about killing Prinny in the previous video. Sure, he came back alive, but maybe I should make it up to him. If only there was a way. Oh, I know, let's go tell him right away. Hey, buddy, sorry about killing you and all. To make it up to you, how would you like to do the first segment of the video?
Ah, hell yeah, dude! That sounds awesome!
Excellent, let me just do the intro and the floor is yours. Alrighty everyone, welcome to SAMSUNGINTHESHOWE'S 2025 Year in Review Part 2! Please note that while this is Part 2, watching Part 1 is not necessary to enjoy the video, although your enjoyment of this video will be greater if you do. Like previously, we'll be doing a tier list and ranking the games accordingly. I didn't mention this last time, but each part will discuss one quarter of the year. For this instance, it will be the period from April 1st to June 30th. That should be everything, although before we begin... Prinny, how exactly are you alive? I mean, I did kill you, right?
You sure did, dude. I just went to the Netherworld Hospital. As long as you have enough money, they can heal you from anything, dude.
I guess that makes sense. Although, how did you find the money?
Oh, that's simple. I stole it from your Switch 2 fund.
You what? Prinny, that Switch 2 comes out later this quarter. I need that money for later in the video. Prinny, ow.
Yeep, sorry, dude.
It's fine. I'll figure something out. Just do the segment. I'll be back with a solution to the problem.
Alright, dude, let's get this video started. Here we go, dude.
Prinny 2! Dawn of Operation Panties, dude!
Ooh, he gave me my games, Prinny 1 and Prinny 2. Both play so similarly that it's easier to talk about them together. While they do have their differences, at the end of the day, the second game is more like a DLC level pack to the first game. That isn't to say there isn't enough content to warrant a sequel. Both games have a large amount of extra content that even Mr. Shower himself hasn't gone through. It's similar to a Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 situation, before that was cool. Like the games, the story of Prinny 1 and 2 is similar, having us Prinny set out to collect 5 MacGuffins to help Master Edna with her needs. While the story is simple, it doesn't take itself seriously at all, leaning more into the comedic moments rather than tense story beats. This works well with what the game is going for, having the player focus more on the gameplay rather than the story, yet still providing an entertaining experience in that regard. Speaking of the gameplay, Mr. Shower left me some notes. Here, let me read them.
Ah, gods, my hands! Oh, why my hands are so sore? Ah, my freaking hands! Ah!
Wow, dude, it's not that bad, is it? Well, the basic attack doesn't seem to have a cap on how fast you can press it, and these bosses have really big health bars. Plus, in Prinny 2 specifically, you are rewarded for doing so with even more damage thanks to the new combo system implemented in that game. This combo system is the main difference between the games. The first game has a system where you combo by ground pounding enemies, while the second game simply tasks you with attacking. Both games are fun and rewarding in their own right. Outside of that, both games have simple mechanics and 1,000 lives to beat the game with stiff Castlevania-esque jump arcs. While that may seem bad, the level design worked with limiting controls to create fun yet challenging levels. All this carries over to the boss fights, with hard yet manageable attack patterns. With such difficult attack patterns, you might want to spend as little time as possible on the bosses, which leads to mashing and then intense hand pain for days, because the final boss is extremely difficult. Like Mr. Shower lost hundreds of Prinnies and spent multiple days on it. Everything is pretty trial and error, however your punishment for dying is never too severe. And the risk of game overing, while prevalent, is never really an issue thanks to the aforementioned 1,000 lives. It's a really unique system that made Mr. Shower approach the game in a whole new way other than the other platformers. Presentation-wise, the game uses a mix of 2D sprite work and 3D models, which blend together nicely. While the game shows its age with this art style, it's a fun era to go back to and is very charming. Charming is a word I could use to describe the entire game, from its gameplay to its visuals and especially the story. While they're not the greatest games ever created, the charm it has makes them a memorable experience. Honestly, if it wasn't for the large amount of mashing and pain felt while playing these games, they would be a lot higher on the tier list. But unfortunately, they're getting a B tier, dude. My segment is done. I thought Mr. Shower said he would be back by now. I wonder where he is, dude.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Nintendo. Is the prosecution ready?
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Alright, prosecution, you may begin with your opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today, I'm here representing myself to accuse Mr. Nintendo over here of such an evil act, one involving their online storefront for digital games. Specifically, I am here to talk about 2 games in particular.
Please don't say hentai golf, please don't say hentai golf, please don't say hentai golf!
Prinny 1 and Prinny 2.
Phew.
While seemingly innocent at first, that game caused me immense hand pain due to its intense mashing. I am demanding a Switch 2 and 3, count 'em, 3 mystery games in damages.
I see, yes. In defense, what is your rebuttal?
Well, Your Honor, the games in question never required a mash. Simply put, this is a skill issue.
Objection! That is just a lie. There is a time limit that kills you if it hits 0. It is rarely a problem. However, for the final boss, it is absolutely necessary to mash, as your DPS without mashing just doesn't cut it.
Well, I suppose. But even still, you bought it and continued to play despite the immense pain you were in. If you were still able to pay, was the pain really that bad in the first place? Unfortunately, there isn't much that can be done. What you did to yourself is hardly our fault. If anything, you should sue yourself.
Well, damn! The defense got hands! I'm sorry, Mr. Shower, but unless you have a rebuttal to that, this court cannot help you.
Fuck, shit, fuck. How can I turn this around? There isn't anything I can do, and I really need that Switch 2 for later in the video. I mean, like, technically I already have one, but in the video universe I don't have one yet. I really should have thought about the timeline of this video better.
Well, Mr. Shower thinks, let me tell you about this game, Guilty as Son. It's a role-playing party game that puts you in a court setting, that you debate to your heart's content. Huge emphasis on role-playing. Because if you and your friends aren't really into that, well, this game just falls completely flat. It needs the players to do the heavy lifting of making the game fun. And while it can be enjoyable because of its limitations, I declare this game gets a C tier! Now, Mr. Shower, have you got yourself a rebuttal?
Nintendo let hentai go on the Nintendo eShop.
God damn it!
Guilty!
Thanks for filling in for me, Prinny, but I've got it from here. As for the Switch 2, it should come in the mail after one segment. So for now, let's talk about game number 13, Gale Guardians, Servants of the Dark. Oh shit, that's supposed to be a title screen that announced the game. Yeah. So, I need to confess something to you all. I'm a Galgun fan. I know, it's a weird game where you do that, but take away the factor and you have a somewhat unique take on the on-rail shooter genre, which is always a blast at the arcades, with endearing characters and a sweet story that a hopeless romantic like myself just adores. With its humorous writing and parodies on anime tropes, the story is a great mix of funny and sweet. Yes, the is very off-putting, and I understand why people don't engage with the series, but it's actually a well-developed series that goes beyond the... Also, just a small point, but it's a prequel to the Gunvolt series. There is a direct link between the two, so you need to play Galgun to get the full Gunvolt experience. The reason I explain all of this is that the Gal Guardian series is a spin-off of Galgun. Gal Guardian's Demon Purge keeps a lot of the characters from Galgun and expands the universe, keeping a lot of the good parts of the game, while changing the gameplay to be a Metroidvania. Although I'm not sure you can call it a Metroidvania, as it heavily leans into the Castlevania roots. This isn't a bad thing, the game is designed around this, and is a blast from start to finish. All the references and charm from the Galgun series makes this game really special. There is one Galgun-esque segment, but it's done very tastefully and doesn't feel forced. Demon Purge feels like a love letter to the Galgun series, while providing a fresh start for those who don't want to deal with... To sum up my thoughts on the series thus far, Galgun, while having fun arcade-style gameplay, is an off-putting game due to the nature of... While it has a lot of charm in its story, it's pretty hard to look past the... Gal Guardian's Demon Purge addresses the main issues with the Galgun series while retaining all the good that series has. That is a lot to preface, but I think it's important to know the context of the series, considering the game we are talking about kind of does its own thing, losing a lot of what made the previous entries so... Well, I don't want to say beloved because a lot of people don't like Galgun, but iconic, I guess? Gal Guardian's Servants of the Dark doesn't keep any of the characters from Galgun, and instead creates a whole new cast of characters. That isn't entirely true. The protagonists from Demon Purge do make a return, but it's mainly for an optional side quest that doesn't do anything for the main plot. If you remove them from the game, there wouldn't be much lost, sadly. While I would have liked to see more of the demon hunting sisters, I'm glad they put a focus on the new stuff here. Kirika and Masha, the heroines, are incredible characters with fantastic designs, interesting personalities, and great synergy with the rest of the cast, as well as their world. The side characters around are also great, although they are underutilized. Speaking of, the story very much takes a backseat for the majority of the game. For the most part, story segments are there for comedic purposes rather than any meaningful character development. Not that I mind, but it would have been nice to see more insight on the cast, considering they are brand new to the series. Furthermore, they could have done a better job at linking back to the rest of the series. The whole game feels very disconnected from the rest of the... In one way that is good, as not to alienate the new players, but as a sequel it feels a bit odd not seeing any old locations or characters outside of Maya and Shinobu, of course. That isn't to say the writing of this game isn't good. Honestly, I found myself laughing at a lot of the jokes in this game, and the writers know when they need to be more serious. Although, in saying that, the game's ending feels very abrupt. Not that it isn't a satisfying conclusion, but the game just kind of ends? Like there isn't any credits. It is very strange. Strange could describe a lot of the choices in this game, like the title screen, which feels empty, or the intro that plays at the start of a new save file, not even as an intro before the title screen, not to mention the lack of quality of life improvements at launch. Thankfully, they added in more fast travel options and collectible carts later with an update, but it's baffling that they weren't there at launch. With that patch, they added a new arena mode which gave an empty area a use. Why it wasn't there at launch is beyond me, but whatever, I suppose. Thankfully, the game excels in other areas, like its visual style. The pixel art on display here never ceases to amaze me. The characters are so expressive with their animations and they pop out really well. Not to mention the characters themselves have been so much detail, like the little bit of green on Kirika's hair. Much like the characters, the environments also look incredible, with detailed backgrounds and creative set design. Everything in the game feels very visually distinct, helping the player not get lost as often in this huge map. Because unlike Demon Purge, this game follows more of a traditional Metroidvania system, with a giant map and multiple areas to explore, not just one castle. It can be a bit overwhelming, but the game gives you a very good map with indicators on where to go. The map is fun to navigate with engaging obstacles, unique gimmicks, and plenty of collectibles to find. Although there is one problem with the map, and it's the fact that the late game is gated by a random bone drop collectibles. These help you power up and give you abilities, although most of the time it's an additional jump. Why do I need to be able to jump 5 times in the air? That's so stupid. A lot of the level ups you get from the bones are useless until you get to the very few that are necessary for progression. There is an easy workaround to this, I think. I honestly haven't tested it, but it's quite an annoying grind considering you have access to so few areas. Not to mention, 100% is locked behind these drops as well. Outside of those annoyances, the core gameplay is fun. Platforming is enjoyable, fighting enemies is quick yet engaging, and both playable characters are interesting to use. Both characters specialize in different ranges. Marsha wields a whip and focuses on damage at the sacrifice of range, while Kirika uses a gun and focuses on range while sacrificing damage. Using the right character for specific areas adds an extra layer of depth to the gameplay that doesn't feel tedious, as switching characters is as simple as a button press. Overall, Girl Guardians Servants of the Dark is a fun Metroidvania with engaging gameplay and a fantastic visual style. It does have shortcomings in its story, however, the girl gun charm in the writing and the parodies on anime tropes still left me entertained throughout the adventure. Outside of the writing style, it could have been a separate game due to its weak connections to the rest of the series, which seems like a huge missed opportunity. Despite that, I had a good time with this game, putting it in the B tier.
Wow, that was a lot. You must really like Galgun, dude. Anyways, here's your package from Mr. Nintendo. Except not really, they didn't send me anything and I'm only saying this for legal reasons. Hashtag not sponsored, dude.
Thanks, Prinny. Let's see what's inside. The Switch 2! It's finally here! I can't wait for a day of gaming. Let's boot it up, only it needs an update. Okay. And the system transfer, gotta get my Switch 1 data onto the Switch 2. Yeah, sure is, take it away.
One eternity later.
Boy, do I sure love modern gaming! Prinny, bid up the first of the 3 mystery games.
You got it, dude.
Mario Kart World!
It's about time we got a brand new Mario Kart game. But, do I really need to talk about this game? I mean, I'm most likely gonna echo the same sentiments as everyone else. Regardless, I do think I have some slightly differing opinions in some areas of this game. So let's start this new area of gaming with a banger review! To start, Mario Kart World controls like a dream. Everything introduced gameplay-wise feels impactful, from the new items, the new mechanics, and the addition of 24-player races feels frantic and fun. All the new items are useful in their own way, and I don't feel as if any of them are a waste when I get them. Even items like Kamek or the coin block, which don't seem immediately beneficial, feel impactful towards the race, which is important because this game is very chaotic. With 24 races, this is the most chaotic any Mario Kart game has felt. Going from 1st to 24th is a common occurrence, which may seem bad, but it keeps the gameplay fresh and exciting, and makes adaptability much more important. This is especially true with the new mechanics, as shortcuts may not always be open thanks to the chaos of the items. These new mechanics can be a bit difficult to understand at first, but once you do fully grasp what they are capable of, this game opens up significantly. Wall riding to reach new areas, switching from rail to rail, charge jumping over ledges, it all feels so good to do. Sure, it can feel a little janky at times, but that feeling of breaking the game with insane shortcuts is just incredible. Everything just feels so good and makes you feel like God's gift to mankind. It does create a skill gap between new players and those at the top, but with such a rewarding system, I don't mind as much. and items are so strong in this game that it isn't as much of a problem as you would think. A bit of an aside, but the game looks amazing. Sure, the environments don't look as realistic as the previous games, but it isn't trying to do that. It has a cartoony feel, much like the characters, which all look so expressive and alive. It makes the Mario Kart 8 models look so stiff. And the music, oh boy, the music! This game's soundtrack is a love letter to all things Mario. It's such an amazing soundtrack with fantastic remixes of all your favorite tunes. Just go take a listen. You will not be disappointed. Now that you understand how great this game looks and feels to play, let's talk about why this game is the worst thing ever created. I jest, but some jarring absences and nights dampen the experience. Let's go mode by mode and get through these ones real quick. Grand Prix, Verse Race, Online Play. I'm putting all these together as they are kind of the same thing. The main thing here is that I wish there was another way to play these tracks. 150cc is great, but mirror mode sucks and it always has. I know it's been said a million times, but why don't we have a new reverse mode instead? Something that warrants me playing through the Grand Prix again. Also, I know people don't like the intermissions, and while I can agree some tracks are just worse with intermissions, some tracks are better. It's very much a case-by-case basis. It isn't black and white like everyone makes it out to be. Look at a track like DK Spaceport, which has you always play the same 6-lap track with no comeback potential. So why not add a little bit to the start that has comeback potential? Why do people want to play less of a track? Also, most intermissions to Koopa Troopa Beach are inherently better by the fact that you don't have to play 5 laps at Koopa Troopa Beach. Some of the base courses are bad, so playing less of them is a good thing. There are even areas of certain tracks you just don't see in a regular race. Hell, there are even some tracks that give you a better experience with the intermission. That lead up into Rainbow Road is breathtaking, and then the music kicks in and oh my god, it's incredible! Just a phenomenal experience. It even makes the ending so much more impactful, seeing all the friends you made along the way cheering you on. All your favorites like Dino, Robo DK, and Tree. Sure. Intermissions are a fantastic inclusion to the game that diversifies and excites. Although in saying all of that, why is there no option to toggle on or off the intermissions in online play? I like intermissions, and even I find this to be a baffling decision. Sometimes I do want to play those 3-lap tracks, and not having that option just sucks. Outside of this, most of the tracks are fun, even if we do have Moo Moo Meadows for like the 3rd time. Actually, we have a lot of tracks for the 3rd time, but Moo Moo Meadows sucks, which is why I rank them. Knockout Tour. Knockout Tour is a great time, however, it is way too repetitive. Having only 8 variants of Knockout Tour just sucks. Why is there no ability to create your own Knockout Tour route? They could have had restrictions around it if they want you to play a certain way, but it just seems like a glaring flaw in the mode. So while this mode is great, the lack of customizable content brings it down. Also, why can't I play with my friends online with this mode? That's just silly. Battle mode. I've never been a big fan of battle mode, but it seems okay. Again, the lack of customization hurts and the map seems a little too big. But otherwise, I could see myself having fun here. Time trials. Look, I know this is a big ask, but why is there no time trials for the intermissions? Again, it's a huge ask, but like I mentioned earlier, there are sections of tracks we don't see during a standard 3-lap format, so I feel like it's an important addition to the game. This is the one issue I understand the most though, so I'll let it slide. Free roam. Lastly, free roam is an amazing lobby system. Being able to practice maps seamlessly between races is so perfect. I can't tell you how much better I've gotten because of it. Outside of online free roam, the single player free roam is also enjoyable. There is a lot of stuff to see and do, the world doesn't feel empty at all and it feels alive. The missions are exhilarating to complete and both the question mark panels and Peach medallions are fun to find. So, what's the problem? The rewards are meaningless. pointless, and there is no way for you to track your progression. For doing any objective, you get a sticker you can put on your car. That's it. And you can only have one sticker, so most players like myself are going to find one they like and just stick with it. Honestly, there is an easy way to fix this, and that is to have some of the collectibles tied to the character unlocks, as the current system can suck my fucking nuts. If you really want people to get characters at random, like you pretty much have to right now, have people spend the Peach medallions on a gacha. Yeah, that sucks, but it's better than having this bastard decide for you. That's every mode in this game, but you can see I enjoyed all of them. I have gripes with every single one of them as well. Despite that, I had and am having such a great time with this game. Every time I boot up this game, I have a blast due to its beautiful visual style and rewarding core gameplay. Not to mention the music! Despite all its shortcomings, despite everything I've said, this is still an S tier game. It's freaking Mario Kart, what the hell do you expect? Alright, Prinny, plug in mystery game number 2.
Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma.
This shouldn't come as a surprise to you if you watched part 1. Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma has consumed my life since the Switch 2's launch. Despite being a spin-off, this game feels like a Rune Factory game while still providing a brand new take on the formula. This isn't just Rune Factory but Japan. Okay, well maybe it is, but there is more to it than that. This game doesn't use the typical Rune Factory farm sim system. Instead, it's all about town management. While farming is still a prominent part of the experience, building up your town with shops and the like is much more important this time around. This is because it'll help your village level up, allowing you to acquire new recipes, land, villages, and most importantly, money. This all feeds back on itself. Recipe grants you access to more facilities to build and place on your land. More land is self-explanatory, giving you more room so you can use it to further your farming and town building endeavors. And lastly, villages tie into the game's automation system. You can have villagers farm for you, run shops for passive income, or collect resources for you to build with. Honestly, the villagers who farm can be a little annoying. While they only plant seeds that grow well in their respective seasons, they don't have any sense of organizational skills. They plant whatever, wherever. Want a cabbage patch? Too bad! One strawberry for you, right here! Outside of that, they are fine, helping you water crops that you would forget about, harvesting crops and putting them straight into the shipping shed. It's all helpful. Still, I find myself checking their work in the morning every day. Anyway, just in case they mess something up. Overall, the new system here is a lot of fun. I was a little worried when I was introduced to the system that I wouldn't be able to make anything that looked good, but I proved the hell out of that. I was even able to create awesome set pieces in my villages. It's such an incredible feeling to build up the town from nothing. Do I prefer this over the main series games? No, but that isn't the fault of the system itself. This has more to do with the side effect of it. You see, when you enter village building mode, time freezes. I mentioned last time that part of the reason I enjoyed the Rune Factory series so much was the time management system. Having to split your time between farming and adventure was a blast, and it's what made me enjoy the game so much more. I could spend my whole day adventuring if I wanted to, or I could farm for the whole day, or I could even do a mix of the two. Here, that isn't really an option. If you don't want to waste time, you will adventure. This wouldn't be a problem if the game gave you reasons to do so, but outside of the main story, it's mainly just mindless busy work. Thankfully, the new social sim aspects come in and help a bit. You can spend time doing activities with villagers, not like the generic ones, but the ones with profiles, although some of these guys are pretty generic, I can't lie. You do this in order to level up your relationship, and once you reach a certain level with a character, you will trigger their unique questline, where you get to know them, see it through to the end, and you'll have the opportunity to marry them. Who did I marry? I married Hina.
speaking of, since we're married and all, what do you want to do about our nicknames? Now might be a good time to change things up.
I was actually thinking the same thing. I wonder what you should call me now.
That sounds so cool. Your wish is my command, Big Boss.
As she is one big reference to the previous entry, Rune Factory 5, which is one of my favorite games in the series. That's a little off topic. These questlines are fantastic. They have such creative and funny character interactions with the whole cast, and are always a joy to sit through. They also have great pacing, and everything ties together really well. Nothing feels like filler, which is something I appreciate more and more thanks to Genshin. The only gameplay aspect I've yet to talk about is the actual RPG stuff, but to be honest, there isn't much to say. Dungeons are designed well with simple yet engaging puzzles. Combat feels good, and each weapon type feels useful in its own way. The difficulty curve is pretty consistent, so combat stays exciting throughout the main story. Speaking of the main story, it's fine. I don't think it's bad by any means, and it has some really cool moments. It links into the rest of the series really well, but it's also generic. It isn't anything I haven't seen before. Still, it was engaging enough to keep me interested throughout. Lastly, the presentation. Visually, this game is uninteresting. Honestly, it looks pretty plain and flat. The map design helps and keeps things distinct, which keeps areas from being completely boring. However, there is a lot to be desired here. The soundtrack is kind of forgettable, which is by far my biggest disappointment. To be clear, it isn't all bad, but there aren't any standout tracks. The soundtrack kind of just blends together in my mind, unfortunately. I haven't done a great job of selling this game, have I? That's because the stuff it does well isn't all that interesting to talk about. The combat is fun, but it isn't revolutionary, same with the story, and while it does a lot right, it has a few elements of its systems that just hold it back. I really enjoyed building up each village, but the fact that it freezes time weakens all the other systems in place. However, putting everything together, it makes what would be a pretty middle-of-the-road game into a fantastic one, with fun characters, engaging gameplay, and tons of content. I've sunk hours into this game with no regrets, and that's why I'm giving it the A tier. Alright, Prinny, it's time for the third mystery game.
Sorry, dude, but you played too much Rune Factory. It's too late for the next game.
Oh, I see. I guess the viewers will have to find out next time on SAMSUNGINTHESHOWER'S Year in Review. The next one might come out sooner than you expected, but this third mystery game is sure to be on it. So see you all next time for this and more. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Oh, the third game was a cliffhanger all along. Classic, dude. Yeep!